Technology is to be used, not merely collected. The Elder is growing to appreciate that fact, he stated rather matter-of-factly. Except using it for war gets it blown up, I replied, earning a sour look from the sour chief acolyte. I'm just saying. And the Elder would agree with you as well. But when we are attacked, we must respond. The Codex commands it, he said as he walked out onto the wet pier. The rain was still pouring, and as quickly it was getting dark. Well, that and common sense, I replied. But somehow I doubt all the scavengers I saw with minigun bullets in them were attacking power armor. He frowned sharply at me, but said no more as we trot along the dock. Then I noted with surprise 2 other ships. One was far less grand, a rust-red ship half the size of the Celestia. It was flying a flag showing a Steel Ranger emblem, but with 3 apples instead of gears. Between it and the Celestia was the Seahorse? What is Thrush doing here? I exclaimed in surprise. He chuckled dryly. Oh, so you know that pirate? No surprise. She's guilty of numerous counts of technology smuggling and other assorted crimes. He pointed a hoof at the far ship. When the HMS Applejack was en route from Manhattan, they encountered the Seahorse, intercepted her, and towed her back here. Once we've wrapped things up, we'll strip out their engine. The rest is garbage. And what happened to the captain and her crew? Things were rapidly veering towards plan. Blackjack doesn't need something incredibly stupid and violent. They're in custody. They should have been thrown to the mercy of the sea, but the Trottingham Rangers are notoriously soft-hearted and soft-headed. I suppose the Elder will let the crew go and shoot the captain. Try not to sound so disappointed, P-21 murmured. That reply just saved you the trouble of having Blackjack tear this place apart. She gets destructive when her friends get hurt. Stupid, P-21. I get stupid when my friends get hurt. I corrected. I received an uneasy look from the chief acolyte. He looked decidedly out of his comfort zone as we walked up the gangplank and onto the Celestia. I was surprised by the number of rangers who weren't trotting around in power armor. I guess I'd gotten the idea that if you don't have power armor, you weren't a Steel Ranger, but most of these ponies didn't wear any. They were moving boxes and containers of supplies aboard the ship. It made sense. If the Reapers swarmed the base, they'd be sitting ducks on the pier. We were walking past the number 3 turret. Up close, you couldn't miss the rusty streaks, magically protected or not. Saltwater was hell on steel. Even I knew that. It looked like only the middle cannon was moving. The gun elevated or agonizingly slow as the turret slowly ground around. Ponies were slopping grease around the edges with mouthfuls of mops held, while unicorns floated grease guns into the crevices. Clearly, battleships ran on grease. Down, he directed as we crossed a Pegasus landing pad to the rear and clattered down some narrow stairs. I had to wonder if Rangers could even wear power armor in these tight confines. After that, we went down more stairs, and incidentally, did I mention that I did not like stairs? My braced legs slipped, and I went rolling down to the bottom. Are you sure you're security? Napalm Strike asked me bluntly. Catch me on a day when I'm not walking on screwed-up legs, and I'll show you security, I muttered as I pulled myself to my hooves, once more glad I couldn't break my legs. Of course, I still felt like I'd been beaten with a stick, but at least nothing was broken. We reached a long room that smelled of salt and dead sea things and followed it along past large white drums set into rows along a metallized track. There were rangers pushing the steel drums from the track to a hoist that I guessed pulled it up to the gun. One of the drums had been dropped, spilling dark powder in a fan that 2 unicorns were very carefully scooping up. If one drum held that much powder, There were hundreds of drums down here. Too bad magic bullets didn't create much in the way of sparks. I'd need something incendiary to do a proper job. A grenade, or flamer, or something. Planning a party? Given the possibility of the base being overrun, it seemed prudent to leave a whole bunker of full gunpowder to the mercy of the burner boys. We loaded as much as we could and we needed, and sealed the rest away, he replied dryly. We passed through a thick door to another room, loaded with missiles and ammo crates by the thousands. There were enough bullets and missiles in here to kill every pony in Equestria 1,000 times over. Why in the name of Celestia would any country need so many bullets? Past that, we entered a space that was far more run down. Given how much effort there were putting into getting the turret working, getting the rest of the ship operational would take lifetimes. There was rust everywhere I looked, and most of the talismans were shot. Some engine or power source I couldn't imagine growled under our hooves, though, and we occasionally passed work crews trying to get some other parts of the ship to work. Finally, we were escorted into an empty magazine, which had far more rust and fish reek. The cages that held the powder drums in the other room were empty in this one, and they had been converted into cells. So, going to tell the elders straight away? I asked him. His sniff told me not to hold my breath. Eventually. I have my duties, but I will inform her that you wish to meet. If you want to know where my stable is, a nice, fully operational stable, you'll inform her before you start firing that gun, I said, as we were marched into an empty cage. The crew of the Seahorse roused at once, as we were locked in a room across from them. The acolyte sniffed. Yes, well, the elder is a very busy mare. There's a war on, you know. I'll see she's informed. I gave a little sigh. Of course he would. With that, he stepped out. Blackjack, is that you? Are you all right? Oilcan asked as the mare looked around. Oh, yeah, I was the pony with the night vision eye. Blackjack? A mare whimpered in pain in the dark. I looked around, but the other cages were empty. Thrush? Where's Captain Thrush? I asked. Here, but she's in a bad way, though. When she caused too much trouble, they made her go into a memory orb, and she hasn't woken up. It's been hours. Tarboots grumbled. I recalled going into one like that. A trapped orb that had shut me down until Priest snapped me out of it again. I thought I spotted Seabiscuit in the back. I heard familiar little sniffles and sobs somewhere in the dark room. Who's that? There was an uncomfortable pause, and then Oilcan said quietly, The sea ponies. They're in a bad way, too. Sea ponies? Oh, shit. Pisces? Capri? Some pony had thrown them in here without any water? Blackjack? Came Pisces' whimper. Please, help. Okay, plan B, now, I said as I pulled off my eye patch. P21, do you have any pins they missed? Nope. They were more thorough than you. Why do you have one? He asked in surprise. Uh-huh, they were busy searching me, but not my eye patch. I ripped open the padding, backing, and carefully tugged out the pin with my magic. The glow was one of the only wan lights in the room. I passed it to him, then carefully untaped a part of my brace, which happened to be a screwdriver. He eyed it and then looked up at me with, Celestia, save us, Blackjack is becoming clever. Okay, keep that little horn of yours up. It's compact, not little. I'd show him light. I fished around for a piece of scrap metal I could lift. I focused as much as I could to light it as he worked. A click, and the door opened. This was why he was awesome. Only he could unlock a door in near darkness. The lock on the Seahorse's crew cage clicked, and the 4 ponies moved out. Then we moved to the next cell door over, and I froze. I never really appreciated what a fish was. a creature of water. I only knew them as glittering shapes in books next to little facts that they lived in water. I'd never thought of what happened if you took them out of water. Pisces and Capricorn lay on the floor. Their scales were cracking and flaking, their skin split and bleeding. Their fins had dried out and stuck to the floor. Capri was unconscious, maybe dead. The pink sea pony was partially glued to her sister. They needed water, badly. And whoever pony had thrown them in here like this needed to die. It was a good thing that I'd met Crumpets and Paladin Stronghoof when I had. I was in a particularly shooty mood when it came to the Rangers. I knelt as P-21 started on the lock. Just stay easy. We'll get you out. Find a fire hose or a bucket or something. Mama. Please, Mama. Capri whispered weakly. Not monsters. We're not monsters. No, you're not. No pony was, and I was going to save them. No pony deserved to die like this. Get it open. Please. Get it open. I begged. P-21 scowled, rubbing his knee as he got to work. The screwdriver quivered. The lock's drum rotated slowly. The bobby pin snapped. No. No! I slammed with my hooves. Blackjack? What's plan B? P-21 asked me in the dark. I lifted a rag so that every pony could at least see the pale white glow. Get free and get ourselves out. But you can do that. You and Rampage. Go. He scowled at the others as they gawked. Well, don't just stand there. Get some sort of light and find me a damned bobby pin and a bucket of water. I looked at him with a thankful smile. Right. The large tar boots threw Thrush over his shoulder. As soon as you can get them out, get to your ship. We might have to get out of here as fast as we can if we can't meet up with Lacuna. I sighed and said, I really hope that Plan C is ready, because at this rate, Plan D is all we've got left. Relax. I excel at Plan D, Rampage said modestly. I'll remember that when Paladin Steel Rain blasts you into a fine red mist, I murmured as she opened the door. A pony in bizarre gray barding jumped to her hooves as the hatch opened. She scrambled for a beam gun as Rampage leapt at the mare, wrapped her legs around her neck, and heaved her clear over her back and crashed her to the deck with Rampage on top of her. The blue pony lazed in a daze. Rampage smiled at me and tossed me the beam gun. You forget. Close combat's my thing, Blackjack. Now take her stuff. It might keep you from getting shot. I stripped the mare, passing to P-21 any gear that wasn't a weapon as I dressed up as a Steel Ranger. If we see Rain first, though, I need to talk to him. Talk to him? Haha, Blackjack, that's a little suicidal, she said as she slowly began to make my way up some stairs. This ship was big. I'd have to ask for directions. Yeah, no offense, Blackjack, but how are you going to know the Elder when we meet her? 'Cause I have no idea what a Steel Ranger Elder looks like. I sighed. She'll either wear the biggest hat, carry the fanciest gun, have the most ridiculous outfit on, or be surrounded by ponies happy to kill us. What? Did I have to work everything out in advance? I'd gotten us aboard the ship, hadn't I? Couldn't think of everything myself. Now, could I?